are taking Alpha. Taking Echo, stand by. Bravo. We've got control. We've lost Delta. Enemy is Charlie. Go. We're taking Alpha. We've lost Charlie. We're taking Charlie. Our enemy has the lead.
Hey guys, so goes without saying that the this channel, I haven't really been posting to it. I posted a couple shorts here and there, but not like full-fledged videos. I think I'm not looking right now, but I think the last video that I posted was something about Black Ops 6 Zombies. I just kind of strayed away from the COD channel, and to be honest, I think a lot of people can see where this is going. Call of Duty, I'm not done with the channel, by all means, don't get me wrong, but and this is a weird thing to talk about on today's subject of the video, and a bit of a random upload of, well, Modern Warfare 2019, and it just got me thinking, because like I'm not enjoying Black Ops 6. Like I haven't for a very long time. I enjoyed the game for a week or two after launch, after I completed the campaign, played multiplayer a little bit, played zombies a little bit, got over, you know, that honeymoon phase. I got over it incredibly more quickly than the majority of the other people in the COD community, because like I just don't enjoy Treyarch games, and I've said that multiple times on this channel, and I don't think Treyarch has really, they have, like, for other people, for the majority of the community, anything Treyarch puts out, the community will suck their dick for it and not even care that the game is buggy, the game is broken, the game is just sometimes a piece of shit. Let's look at Black Ops Cold War. Let's look at Black Ops 4. I'm talking about mainly the bugs in this main part here. Again, I have biases because I don't like Treyarch games. They've lost credibility in my POV. They have lost credibility to me since I think after Black Ops 3 Zombies, they've lost all their credibility, in my opinion. I don't think they've made a good game. I think their last, like, good game in terms of a campaign, multiplayer, and zombies, a full game, was Black Ops 2, and even Black Ops 2 had its problems. And the last single mode that was the best was Black Ops 3 Zombies. I didn't like Black Ops 3 multiplayer, and then Cold War, I absolutely fucking hated it. Black Ops 4, I absolutely fucking hated it. Black Ops 6 is better than Cold War and Black Ops 4, but again, I don't care for the game. I don't like it. Zombies is definitely a huge step from the previous 3 to 4 iterations that we've gotten. I'm including Vanguard into that and Modern Warfare 3 Zombies. But I was thinking, because I re-downloaded Modern Warfare 2019, the campaign, I play it at least once or twice a year, because the campaign for Modern Warfare 2019 was just fucking incredible. I don't have any major complaints about Modern Warfare 2019's campaign. Not a single major complaint. For multiplayer, I don't have a single major complaint. At least I don't classify them as major complaints. For 2018, it feels like a classic Call of Duty, but at the same time, they have innovated so much when the game came out back in October of 2019. And then since the reveal in May of 2019, just, I don't know. Modern Warfare 2019 is on leagues of its own. It's an S-tier Call of Duty. I don't care what anybody says in the COD community. This game is literally the game that brought COD back to the map, and I think Black Ops Cold War is completely ruined that. Like, it completely ruined it with the engine, with the gunplay, with the additions of the game, with completely removing things and innovations that 2019 brought in. I know a lot of people are going to hate me for saying this, but mounting, doors, dual rendered scopes, ADS while reloading, tac sprinting, the evolution of the ground war mode, turning it into a battlefield-like mode to play, as you're seeing in the background, battle royale for Call of Duty, turning the ground war maps that everyone had a suspicion. These maps are extremely detailed, even out far. Everyone had a theory. It's like, wait a minute, all these ground war maps that they're even releasing through seasons, there might be something bigger here that we don't know about. They released Warzone, and it was Call of Duty's first big game mode, first, like, the biggest map that COD has ever seen, and it turned out to be Battle Royale. And let me tell you, Warzone, the first iteration of Warzone, Modern Warfare 2018's Warzone, was incredible, and it was the first time I genuinely loved and enjoyed a Battle Royale mode. Dev team for this game went out of their way to even make the spent casings and the spent brass that come out of your gun after you're shooting or in an engagement or in a gunfight, etc. They even made that realistic. Not only the muzzle debris and the debris coming out of the bolt when you're shooting, especially if you're shooting full auto weapons and semi-autos. I have a couple pictures of some sprint brass that I picked up from me shooting. The first round I'm going to show you is some 30-06 out of my M1 Grand. This was the first 2 rounds that I shot out of my M1 Grand a couple months ago in 2024, back in the beginning of June. I finally acquired my favorite gun of all time, my dream gun, which was an M1 Grand. This one specifically is dated 1953. These first 2 spent brass casings are 30-06. And you can see, unlike every other Call of Duty, this dev team went out of their way to make it even more immersive and authentic to shooting firearms, that the fact that they made it to where the brass, you can look at this in game, it's not perfectly clean. Like in Black Ops 6, and again, the only reason why I'm comparing Black Ops 6 is because it's the latest Call of Duty game. Compared to this game, there is not much detail in Black Ops 6, and compared to the firearms. And as you can see, again, the brass isn't clean. It's not pristine when it comes out of the gun. Every game after Modern Warfare 2018, including IW's last title after MW19 in 2022, Modern Warfare 2, they didn't go to the effect of putting this much detail in their guns. That's why I'm wholeheartedly believed that the team that worked on Modern Warfare 2018, maybe most of them don't even work at IW anymore. Because all of this detail that was put into this game should have transferred over into Modern Warfare 2, and it didn't. I know the 2 lead directors of 2019 left, Jacob Minkoff and Taylor Kurosaki. I think I'm saying those last names correctly. Probably saying them wrong. So, if they happen to see this video, apologize for that. I know they left, which I'm really sad about, because I feel like if they would have stayed at IW, Modern Warfare 2, I would go on a limb and say if they didn't leave IW, Modern Warfare 2 wouldn't have got the hate. It still would have got hate because it's IW, but it wouldn't have got such a huge amount of hate from the community, and I think the game would have played pretty similar to Modern Warfare 2019 in terms of movement and stuff, and not the movement we got in Modern Warfare 2. And I feel like the attention to detail and everything, not just firearms, would have been even more exponentially great. Spent brass coming out of your guns is not clean. It's not pristine like it is in every other game before this. Cold War, Vanguard, Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, and then Black Ops 6. All of those games completely threw out the attention to detail that 2019 had, and all the devs that put in the time to do that. And then next up we have a 1911. Now these were 2 rounds. The first 2 rounds that I fired when I was taking my CPL years ago out of my 1911. Yes, I carry a 1911. It's a replica. It's not an actual real 1911. I wish I had one, but those are fucking expensive. But these were the first 2 rounds, and you can see where the bullet goes into the actual casing. It, when firing, one of the casings were failure to eject. The other one, just the amount of pressure, because the grain of these bullets were a little bit higher than I'm used to in my 1911. I shoot a little bit lighter grain. I can't remember off the top of my head what the specific grain was, but I know it was higher. And these were spitting out of my 1911 when I was taking my CPL class. And these two I kept. These are the first 2 rounds out of my 1911. And you can see it's not clean. The brass isn't clean. These ones specifically are really damaged. That's not normal. But it can happen, but again, it's not normal. And yeah, the brass isn't clean. I know this is a very odd rant to go down about attention to detail, but again, it just goes into the example of how much attention to detail the devs put into this game. And again, I'm not saying they got everything perfect. They did get a lot of things wrong with firearms and stuff. You can look on plenty of videos of people picking apart the weapon design and everything that they put in Modern Warfare 2018. But even then, those same people will tell you that Modern Warfare 2018's weapon design is still the best out of every single Call of Duty ever released. And lastly, we have 5.56 or 2.23. They're the same caliber. This was out at a longer range. It's a little bit farther from home. And this round actually got jammed. I was shooting my dad's AR-15. We were shooting at a 100-yard range. Usually I shoot at a range that's like 25 yards is the max. Actually, I think it's like 30. It's an indoor range. But at this one, we were shooting at an outdoor range. I was shooting 100 yards, and one of the rounds didn't go off. So I was troubleshooting the rifle, and it wouldn't eject it. It got stuck. And then, again, as you can see in the pictures, this round actually got stuck in the chamber, and I'm glad it didn't actually go off. It struck the primer. It didn't set the round off, but it did get stuck in the chamber, and it also got stuck in the magazine. So that's why you see that it's bent. But as you can see again here, an unfired round is still dirty. And I got very lucky with this round not A, exploding, and B, going off. So yeah, that's a little brass tangent that I just went on. That, again, another example of the attention to detail the devs put into this game. Their attention to detail to make the overall experience immersive, even in multiplayer, is depending on if you use sleight of hand or not. Your character, if you use sleight of hand, your character would drop the magazine and put another one in. Now, depending on what material or surface you were standing on, even surface level, your magazine would react dynamically, sound-wise and height-wise, I guess I could use that term, to the ground. So if you were standing on dirt and you dropped your magazine in game using sleight of hand, you would physically audibly hear your magazine hit dirt. If you were standing on concrete, there would be a different sound. If you were standing on corrugated metal on like a roof or something, it would hit that metal and it would make that sound. It also would go along with the material of the magazine. So if you were using a P-mag, the sound would, replicate what it would sound like in real life if you dropped a P-mag on metal or dirt or concrete or carpet or something. If you dropped a Stanag, which is aluminum or metal, it would make that sound correlating to the material the magazine was made of. So yeah, another thing with attention to detail. I know a lot of these are firearms, so stick with me. But if you were standing next to a wall and you were shooting, the brass would, ejecting from your rifle or your pistol, would hit the wall next to you and then roll down or fall onto the ground. Again, that correlated with different surfaces too, and it would audibly also correlate to the surfaces too. So if you were standing next to a metal building, your brass ejecting from your rifle would hit the metal, and it would be audibly, the audible signature would be a metal sound as the brass was hitting it and then hitting the ground. You could also see your brass on the ground as well, which wasn't new for COD, but it still added a little bit more to the immersion aspect. And it did disappear. I wish, and I hope IW's next title, this firearm detail returns and your brass would stay on the ground. On top of that, I would love to see your magazine stay on the ground too, no matter what type of magazine it is, at 5.56 mag, 7.62, 5.45, 308, LMG magazines, even bazooka rounds. While I'm editing the footage, I just want to also clarify that two things that they actually fixed in Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3 is with the MP7. The MP7 is actually a 4.6 by 56, I think is what it is. I'll annotate it on screen right now because I'm not on Google right now. I'm not looking. But in Modern Warfare 2019, when you're shooting the MP7, it actually ejects 9mm rounds, which is completely impossible. because the MP7 wasn't built around that caliber. It was built again around 4.6, and then that was actually fixed later on in Modern Warfare 2. It actually ejects the correct casing, and then alongside with this game, you're watching the MG34 right now. The MG34 actually ejected its brass on the bottom of the receiver. So underneath where the drum mag is and where the receiver in that is, it ejects from underneath the gun. Instead, in the game right in Modern Warfare 2019, it's ejecting from the side, which it didn't do that. It was just like the MG42. They both ejected from underneath the weapon on the bottom of the receiver. So that's immediately two things that 2019 the dev team got wrong. So I just wanted to clarify that right now. Detail that this game added more to the immersion. Again, even in multiplayer, I know a lot of people for some reason get annoyed and bothered when people talk about immersion in Call of Duty. They say it's unnecessary, and I'm like, no, it's not. Like, that's part of the gaming experience. Is even if you're playing an arcade shooter, you still want immersion. So that's another thing, and I know most of these are including with firearms. I recently made a series a while ago, a couple years ago, on this channel that was about the game's atmosphere, the game's immersion, all the firearms. I believe it was called Sounds of Modern Warfare was the miniseries I did. I'll link the playlist on the description if you guys want to watch that. If you just want no commentary, you want to hear that for yourselves. I do various testing on the magazine drops, the reloads, the sounds of the maps and stuff. This was definitely a forward into COD where the maps actually had atmosphere and aura to them, and it made the maps feel alive. And that's another thing I hope is added on to the future of COD, where we get day-night cycles, weather cycles. That would be pretty cool. Not only did devs of this game put a lot of paid skins and unlockable skins for known operators, like, you know, Task Force 141, so you got Price, Farah, Gaz, Ghost, Soap, etc. You have the named operators, but what they also did is they also put the care and detail into putting the milsim operators into Modern Warfare 2019, and they gave us a lot of options to choose from. And another attention to detail that I love is the base milsim skins for the Allegiance and Coalition factions inside of this game is, depending on what type of gun you picked, your characters' mag holders on their chest rigs or plate carriers dynamically changed to match the gun that they were using. So if you're using an SMG, you had SMG mag pouches. If you're using an AR, you had assault rifle mag pouches. Now, it didn't go further into detail to where it would change to where if you're using an AK, you would only have like 7.62 by 3.9 mag pouches or 5.45 mag pouches. If you had an LMG, it didn't give you box magazine mag pouches. It just changed it based on SMG and assault rifles. That was still attention to detail, but it didn't go further into what I would like to, and hopefully IW for their next title in 2027 changes that even further and goes more in depth and changes it based on mag type as well and ammunition type. That would be pretty cool. Just for a second here, we're going to stop with the gameplay, and I'm going to show you every single operator skin for the default skin for the Coalition forces and the Allegiant forces, and just look at the amount. You've probably already seen it right now because I've been showing it, but the amount of operator skins they gave for the default milsim category of operator is just insane. No other game does that, and it's kind of disappointing to me that Treyarch hasn't done that with Black Ops 6 yet, and Sledgehammer didn't do that with Vanguard. There was so many opportunity for so many skins that they could have put not only in Vanguard but in Black Ops 6. There are so many cool camos for your operator, so many different chest rigs, so many different gear sets that people used in the 90s. Addition of missions, daily challenges, mastery challenges, and even seasonal progression rewards for the game. Now, other Call of Duties before this have done this type of thing, but I don't think they've ever done something on at the caliber of what IW did for this game, with the mission specifically, where you would get a reward every time you would complete a challenge. You'd get XP and a reward, whether it be a sticker, a calling card, a charm, what have you. But the last reward was always a weapon blueprint skin, and that was something. As you can see in the background footage, I'm scrolling through all of the missions right now. There was a total of 24 missions, and that included core, which would be multiplayer for every mode, and then co-op, which is your Spec Ops challenges. 34 missions in total, and each mission had about 5 to 9 objectives per mission challenge. That went up to 12 objectives per mission, so brought in your daily challenges, which COD before that had daily challenges, but this game had challenges for every mode. It had multiplayer, Warzone, and Spec Ops challenges, and you would get rewarded for XP. Some of them even gave you calling cards, some of them even gave you weapons, some of them even gave you charms, and so on and so. COD after this has done daily challenges, but they're not as good as they were in Modern Warfare 2018. I think Black Ops 6 has daily challenges, but they only give you XP. They don't actually give you, like, physical items in-game. Had your mastery challenges, which every game has had a mastery challenge. But these mastery challenges would give you calling cards. So I'm looking at one right now. It's for Warzone. It's Royale Victories, and it had, in total, 5 objectives. And you had to get a total of 300 wins, and you would get a rare calling card. Or, for example, if we head over to multiplayer, there was a challenge to get 10 headshots without dying. You get a calling card. Or there was one ridiculous one that was get a round or game-ending kill with a C4 or Claymore attached to a recon drone. Note, both the drone operator and the explosives provider will receive credit. And it was a epic calling card called Candygram for Mongo. It also gave you 5,000 XP. So again, just another thing that was really cool to grind for. I haven't tried to get that one because I just don't. I feel like that would be best to complete on Cyber Attack or Search and Destroy, and I don't like one life modes. So we can't forget my favorite mode that IW released for this game, which was also, I believe it was in the beta, but it was only in the beta for a very short amount of time, which was the Realism playlist, which was hardcore playset rules, but it was no HUD whatsoever. It was one-shot headshot, and actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't think it was hardcore set rules. It was just 0 HUD for the best immersive experience. It was one-shot headshot, but it was a couple body shots. Just an insane mode. It was my favorite mode to play. I don't have any gameplay of it because, first of all, no one liked the mode. I think I was like the only person in the COD community that loved the mode. Secondly, right now there's no one queuing for Realism. Like, there's just no one playing it. I think if I go to my main channel, I might be able to find some videos on it.
Here, and welcome back to another Modern Warfare video. Now, I do apologize for the late upload, but this is some exciting news for the niche player base who loves the Realism mode. Now, earlier today, I tweeted Joe Cott and a bunch of other developers of Modern Warfare, and I asked them, hey, can you please not remove Realism and Realism Night from the game? Basically, I'm implying, can you permanently keep Realism or Realism, mostly Realism Night, because I love the night vision in this game. Can you keep Realism in the game? Like, keep it permanently and not just a playlist every now and then. And I actually got a reply from Joe Cott, and he said, our intentions are to put this in the filter, meaning whenever there's a playlist update, Realism and Realism Night isn't taken out of the game, it's permanently there. So all the people, including myself, who are in the niche community that loves the Realism and Realism Night game modes, it is now, hopefully soon, going to be permanently in Modern Warfare, and we don't have to worry about it when it's finally put it in. We don't have to worry about it being taken out within 3 days.
And I will download those videos via YouTube. It'll be in shit quality, but I'll put it here if I can. But I loved the mode so much, and they topped it even more when they released Realism Night Vision. And not only was the night vision in Modern Warfare 2019 just the most incredible night vision we've ever seen in a video game, it does top some hardcore tactical shooters when it comes to their night vision. It wasn't realistic. Like, there are some hardcore tactical shooters that have realistic night vision, and that looks so good. But this game did night vision so good. It looked good. The quad nods were insane. It's just in the Realism Night playlist. I played the fuck out of Realism Night with the night visions and stuff, and actually like sneaking around with the nods off and trying to sneak around and like be like Splinter Cell or some shit, and doing pistol only runs on Realism Night with my buddies. It was such a good mode. And I miss the mode dearly, and I really hope IW brings it back for their next game, because Realism Night was insane. It was one of the best modes in this game. It really was. It was just insane. Again, if I can get some gameplay in the background, I'll try. But, I wish I could play it right now. But no one's queuing for it, because everyone hated the mode. But, I just love it so much. We can't forget about that mode, because it was insane. Also, for those of you that like One Life modes, they brought another version of Search and Destroy called Cyber Attack. I know a lot of people love Cyber Attack. I see a lot of people saying that this game had the best version of Search and Destroy in any COD game. I don't know if that's still like a thing, but I'm gonna take their word for it, because I don't like One Life modes, and never liked Search, never liked Cyber Attack. And then, not to mention, another mode that they brought into the game was Gunfight. This is the first COD game to bring 2v2 Gunfight, and later they brought 3v3 Gunfight. I think they even brought 4v4 Gunfight as well. And they also had 1v1s as well. But Gunfight in Modern Warfare 2019 was incredibly fun. I absolutely loved it. And then later on in the COD, release cycle, in 2023? No, 2021. I think that's when Vanguard came out. Vanguard had a pre-alpha. Well, an alpha, which it was 3v3v3. It was a spin on Gunfight, and it was their alpha, and it was like 4 teams of 3 or something. I can't specifically remember. I can't even remember what the game mode was called. King of the Hill? Was that what it was called? I can't remember. Someone will let me know down in the comments. But yeah, later on in later CODs, Vanguard tried a spin at it, and it didn't land. But yeah, the Gunfight maps for Modern Warfare was insane. I have a lot of videos recorded on Gunfight. I even did a series revisiting those old videos, so I'll put a link in the description of that playlist if you guys want to watch it too. And yeah, the game mode selection in Modern Warfare was one of the best, probably one of the best. I remember in the beta they actually had 20v20, which sadly never actually made it to the full release of the game, because they had standard 6v6, then they had ground war for the big battlefield-like mode, and then they had 10v10, which we tried in the beta on Grozny Raid, and then they were telling people that they had another mode that was 20v20, and it was going to be on big maps like Grozny Raid, but they were going to also make maps specifically made for 20v20, and sadly it never made it to the full release of the game, and I was a bit sad, because 20v20 sounded cool, and it was the first time in Call of Duty where we would have small maps with 40 players in total. It would have been insane. So I hope IW, if you're listening, doubt it, but if you're listening, please bring 20v20 for your next game. I hope whatever this game is, I'm really hoping it's not another Modern Warfare title, but if it is, take Modern Warfare 2019 and improve upon it by tenfold, and bring all the features from 2019 and that you said were going to be in 2019 and bring it into this game, the next game, because it was just insane. So I'm going to actually add this to the Reliving Modern Warfare series that I did not too long ago, and I'm going to make this the last part of that, because again, like the title of this video, my obsession with this game is unhealthy, and I just wanted to quickly go over the cut content from this map, and again, it really puts into perspective that this game deserved more than just the generic 1 year. There's a lot of COD games, let's be real, there's a lot of COD games that deserve more time, but Modern Warfare is #1 on that list that deserves more time, and And I wish if IW could, they would add this cut content to the game, because this game deserves a whole hell of a lot more. And the ones that I want to go in depth are the maps, because this is very fascinating. And I made a video on my main channel that actually got a lot of views. I'll put an image on screen and I'll put a link down in the description about it, where I was theorizing about Modern Warfare's next ground war map, Modern Warfare's next Warzone map, or multiplayer maps being set in Ukraine. And obviously this was before the full-scale invasion of Russia's invasion in Ukraine, specifically Pripyat, or the exclusion zone of Chernobyl. Now, if you're living in Iraq, COD 4 was the first game to bring Pripyat to the mainstream media in terms of like pop culture for video games. And that was all gillied up, and Gillies in the Mist, I think, was the second part of it. But altogether, that mission was like one of the best missions in COD history. And that being said, in that video that I made years ago, I was theorizing that Pripyat was going to be a Warzone map, or at least they were going to add some multiplayer maps of Pripyat. And I was right, because a couple months ago, in 2024, it's now 2025, I came across a video. I can't remember the YouTuber's name, so I do apologize. But he was going over cut content from every single Call of Duty game. It was like an hour and a half, 2 hour long video. And he was going through content of Modern Warfare 2019. And Modern Warfare 2019 had a significant amount of maps and assets from Pripyat and Ukraine and the surrounding region. And I thought to myself, holy shit, I was right all along. And it really makes me sad that that wasn't in the game. And yeah, this was cut content. I'm gonna shut up and get on with it. So for multiplayer maps, there was a map called Assault, Bomb Site, Borderline, and then Fallout. Now the map Fallout was set in a hidden nuclear facility inside of Ukraine. Now, nuclear facility could mean a lot of things. It could be developing nuclear warheads. It could be a storage site for the warheads, or the element for nuclear anything, so uranium, plutonium, that type of thing. Or it could mean a nuclear power plant, which, i.e., would be Chernobyl. And just reading that description makes me think they were going to give us a Chernobyl nuclear power plant, the NPP itself, as a playable multiplayer map, whether it be ground war or just multiplayer in general, or a 2v2 version, etc. You get my point. And it just furthers my theory back in the day when I was doing that video even more. And God, I really wish it would have. I really wish it would have been the game. And then next up, we have a map called Farida. I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm assuming that's Arabic. There is an image, so I'll put the image on screen. It says strings and some images remained, which were also briefly shown in the reveal trailer, if you guys remember the first reveal trailer that they revealed. But on top of these maps, they also had two attachments that were leaked, and then there was a string of operators. So quickly before we continue with the multiplayer maps, we have a 9mm magazine for the Ram 7 or the TAR 21. So just like with the M4 platform in the game, you could chamber a 9mm. That was the same attachment. Along with that, there was another attachment called Russian ACOG, which was a data mined image of an ACOG on the Grau 556, which was the PKAS, which is weird because the PKAS is already technically in the game as an attachment. I'll show you guys the attachment on screen too, of the one that I think it's talking about. So that's a bit weird. Next up for the maps, we had firing range. It was most likely going to be the firing range we know today as, like, while you're in your gunsmith, you can test out your guns, because that wasn't in Modern Warfare 2019 at the time. And then next up we have Invasion, which was a remake or remaster of the original Modern Warfare 3's Invasion, which I would have loved to see. Then we have Mill Base, which was probably going to be a ground war map based off of the military base in the Warzone map Urzikstan, because right now there is no ground war map of the military base. And then we have Oasis, which have no clue what that would be. Offshore, which again have no clue what that would be. And then Ravine. These 4, I'm assuming, would be ground war maps of the existing Urzikstan. That's what I think they were going to do. And then we have Sandin, or Sadin, which named after Mark Antonio Sadin, the designer at Beanox. No clue what that is. There's no image attached. And then we have Shattered. Again, no image attached, just the name. And then we have a night version of Shipment. No picture. And then we have Scaries, which apparently Scaries is the map code for Palejo's Lighthouse from Modern Warfare 2. So it looked like there was going to be a Palejo's Lighthouse, maybe, or a Modern Warfare 2019's version of it was going to be in this game, and then they just decided to put it in Modern Warfare 2. And then next up we have Speedway, which is only mentioned in regards to escape mode. Again, no clue. Have Subbase, Takedown, Trade, and Vanguard. There's no images attached. There's only strings remaining. Subbase and Takedown, I believe, were Modern Warfare 2 maps originally, I think. And then Trade and Vanguard, no clue. As for gunfight maps, we have a map called Boneyard, and not to be confused with Scrapyard. And then we have Discharged. And then another map based in Pripyat was called Exclusion Zone, which was a scrapped gunfight map set near Chernobyl. Now there is an image. I'll have the image on screen. And like, why this was scrapped, I have no clue, because this would have been so cool. It would have been one of my favorite maps. A map in the game right now that reminds me of this is a map called Trench that you could actually play. I think it was like 3v3 or 6v6 on it at one point in Modern Warfare's life cycle. And you can still play it in the game right now as a core map. And I remember playing 6v6 on it, and it was such a fun map to play on. And then next up we have Hook. No image. And then we have a night version of King. And then we have Theater and Town. So those are the maps. That just puts into perspective on the theory that I had back in the day that IW was working on some Pripyat, Chernobyl, Ukraine maps. I was talking about the most iconic, one of the most iconic buildings in the Pripyat exclusion area is the swimming pool building, but that was inside of Urzikstan, and it was by the storage area on the map. And there were some other areas that had reference to all Gilead up in Ukraine and Pripyat and the Chernobyl area, like the Urzikstan. Excuse me, I'm saying Urzikstan this entire time. I meant to say Verdansk. But some of the building layouts and the looks of them had very heavy Pripyat vibes, and obviously it's just because they took heavy inspiration from that area. But just imagine if Modern Warfare 2019 had all this cut content and they had all of these Pripyat-esque maps into the game. I would have absolutely fell in love, because I'm so fascinated by the Chernobyl incident and the exclusion zone, Pripyat, Ukraine, and all that. I've always been fascinated of the area and stuff, and the incident and stuff. And then when the television series on HBO released, it just perpetuated my obsession with that even more drastically. On top of Stalker, because Stalker's great, and Stalker 2 is like game of the year for me. It's such an amazing game. I'm still like not even 50% done with the game, and I'm so obsessed with Stalker 2. It's just insane. But it just makes me want all this cut content and all these maps, and it makes me want IW to just release them. I really hope one of the developers from Modern Warfare 2019 find this video and listen to and watch it, because I would love to do an interview with the devs of 2019 and just talk about the game, talk about the development cycle, talk about campaign, multiplayer, everything. So if anyone has those contacts, I would love to do it. I would love to hear all the weapons they were planning to put in the game. They also have a bunch of game modes cut too. I'm just going to list off the game modes. I'm not going to go into detail. I'll put a link down in the description of this Call of Duty wiki if you want to read it for yourself. So for game modes, I have Assault, CQB, Combat, Outpost, DEFCON, Escape, Fire Mission, HVT, Hostage, Invasion, Lava, Mugger, multi-team musical chairs, payload, pillage, rush, snap, tac ops, and team juggernaut. For weapon perks, they had bling, bolt, dead on, dexterity, enemy tag, fast up, flinch, glint reducer, hard melee, hold breath, laser, long range, rapid fire, ricochet, rush, semi-auto, skulk, stance training, swapper, and extra mags. For equipment, they had EMPs and pop rockets. And then for field upgrades, they had ammo drop, last stand, which I'm glad never made it into game, ladder, and then survivor. And then for perks, they had bounty hunter, grave robber, healer, momentum, sneaky, sonar, stopping power, which is weird because stopping power is in the game already. And then thief. And then they also were planning on putting pro perks in the game. So they had blast shield tier 1, 2, and then pro. They had ghost tier 1, 2, and pro. Hardline 1, 2, and pro. Medic 1, 2, and pro. Momentum 1, 2, and pro. Overkill, scavenger, spotter, and tracker. And then for kill streaks, they also had an EMP drone, dead man streak, which I'm so glad wasn't in the game, and then fuel air streak, which I'm assuming is just a fuel air bomb. And then they also plan to have map voting in the game as well. And then lastly, the most known cut content was the zombies mode. Now, there's a quote from Jacob Minkoff, one of the lead directors of the game, that said, "We're trying to create an authentic, realistic feeling world. We don't have the flexibility to do something like put zombies in the game. That would compromise the feeling of playing in a world that feels realistic and authentic and related to today's conflicts and things we face." A zombies mode was initially pitched with one concept art, but was scrapped in favor of Spec Ops, the main factor being that Infinity Ward wanted to have a grounded and realistic co-op mode. Several prototypes were made before the change. Only a few lines of leftover code remained in the game files, and again, we all have seen the concept art for it, and it looked insane. And back in the day, if I had the ability to change the two lead directors' minds about putting zombies in the game, I would say do it, but put it in a authentic and realistic way. Make it realistic, make it authentic, and what would real life operators actually do if something like this was discovered? And again, yeah, like if IW finds this video and they want to do this, hit me up because I'll give you some ideas. Man, the cut content makes me really think that this game should have had a year 2 or something, and I really wish, again, for the 40th millionth time, I really wish IW could go back and put all this cut content into the game. And again, I would really love to know if there was even more cut content that didn't make it through leaks or data mined, like weapons and stuff. Like, there's one weapon on the actual menu screen that's the Desert Tech MDR, and it looks like it's the 5.56 one, but it also could be the 308 version. That's potentially another gun they were planning on putting in the game, because it's one of the menu screens. It's the quick play tile overlay image. So yeah, that's just insane to me. But I do apologize for constantly interjecting and intercutting into this entire video. I just got carried away because, again, like the channel says, I'm obsessed with this game. And I love it to death. And it's literally the only COD game that I'm so obsessed with, because it's just perfect. It's just so good. Without further ado, like, comment, subscribe, ding all notification bells so you guys know when I upload next. And I'll see you in the next video.